Hello, everyone. This is Linda Ferguson,
And Karen Nelsonville.
and this is the latest episode of Platinum Prime for Life, the show where we teach you how to live a Platinum Prime life, which is the best life you can in your Platinum years. All right, so today, Karen, we have something that actually was inspired by your own life, what you're doing these days. And that is really trying to give back more to the community that you live in through different acts of volunteerism, which I think is absolutely beautiful. And we were chatting about it, and I said, I recently read something where being a volunteer and helping others actually helps you sleep better at night, which is always one of the challenges I have. Like, what are all the different ways you can sleep better at night? And then I add those to my arsenal. So that's what we're going to be talking about today: volunteerism and how that can help you live a better Platinum Prime life and impact your health positively. And the effects are profound. So we have some experts who weigh in on this for us. But first, I would like Karen to just share with y'all what led her to the subject of being a volunteer.
I don't think you've heard this story, Linda. I don't think I've even told this story to anybody in particular, but the year was around, I would say, about 1967 or 68. And I was married to a musician, and he became really ill. We had a job to do in Billings, Montana in the middle of winter. It was very, very cold there. It was so cold that one fella rode his horse into the bar where I was playing piano. I'd never seen a horse walk into a bar. And it was really, really, really cold. And I was really broke. I was so broke. I was so glad to have this job because it was going to give us something to eat with. And he couldn't work. It was just me, and he just sort of laid in bed. And it was a not an ideal Christmas. It was a Christmas that just sort of pointed up. It was like a movie Christmas where everything was kind of going wrong. And there was a blood donation center across the street from the hotel where I worked. And I thought to myself, I could go and donate a pint of blood, because at least I would be giving somebody a Christmas present, and it wouldn't cost me anything. And so I did that. It was so cold that when I would step outside, it was like 30 degrees below zero. And I had a little scarf around, and you'd breathe, and the breath would form icicles on your eyelashes, and your eyelashes would get stuck together, and you'd have to go like that in order to get your eyelashes to get unstuck. So that was the first time I ever donated. And from that point forward, I donated blood as something that I could do for my fellow man. And it did make me feel good. And since then, just in the last year, I've discovered that there are health benefits to donating blood, which, if you're interested, I can tell you, because I have some of the data here. But so that was the first time I started donating blood. And more recently, I had been reading about how donating plasma can have equally far reaching effects, because many of the medications that are for people with autoimmune diseases and terrible, just rare diseases, that plasma is so important, and you can donate it more frequently than you can blood. And so you can donate it, like, safely, healthfully, up to 2 times a week. And what's really interesting is that they'll pay you for plasma. That's how important it is to have plasma. They pay you to donate plasma. And I thought, well, that's kind of like, it takes it out of the realm of being totally philanthropic or humanitarian. It's like, okay, I can make some bucks here. But there's strict rules to how you donate, because you can't be like an alcoholic street bum and go donate plasma. Yeah, and I'm
That's
not
good to
either.
know.
So anyway, so I did go to the donation center and I'm getting myself all prepared. I'm going to be, for this month, I'm going to donate plasma and see how it goes. There are supposedly even some health benefits because I researched it out because I'm 81 and I have to have a doctor's permission to donate plasma. And of course, I'm in, you know me, I'm vigorously healthy, so I don't think there'll be any problem with that. But some people go there to donate because they want to make some money, and some people go there because they know that they're saving a life. They're saving a life. Now, does it feel good to do that? For me, it gives me probably as much. It gives me as much mental benefit as it does somebody else who receives it, the physical benefit. So I'm thrilled. That's how it all came about, was because um, I was in Billings, Montana, freezing my derriere off, and I was so broke. It was the only thing I had to give.
All those years ago. I mean, that is a long time ago, too. We are not in Montana now, by the way.
No, and it's not 1967. Oh my God, that's like 60 years ago, right? Yeah.
Almost, yeah, absolutely. Well, so that's volunteering, and that's one way to volunteer. There are lots of ways to volunteer, and we, at the end of this, we are going to have a booklet that you can order, or a PDF document, to share with you different ways to volunteer and how volunteering benefits your health. But let's actually just talk about it. So, the very first expert comment on volunteering, how does being a volunteer help you, is mental health. And that kind of makes sense. You feel good, you feel better, you're doing something for someone else, and you're on the giving end of things. And giving always, always is a two-way road, meaning you're going to give something, but you get that good feeling of being able to contribute to the betterment of another. So, Jeffrey Burr is a professor of gerontology, which I don't actually know what that is. What is
Gerontology
gerontology?
is the study of aging and old people.
Okay. So he's a professor of gerontology at UMass Boston. And he says compared to non-volunteers, volunteers have less depression, less anxiety, higher self-esteem, higher life satisfaction, greater happiness, and a greater sense of meaning in life. Seriously, for something that cost nothing to do except time for many people. I mean, you could volunteer money too, but
Could be a
those are
nice alternative to a,
amazing
I'm sorry,
perks.
I cut you off there. Could be a nice alternative to an antidepressant.
Very nice alternative. In many ways, antidepressants are not good for your health in the long run. They might take the edge off of something, but in the long run, if you look at all of the contraindicated health things that come with taking an antidepressant, this is much better
Free.
and free. All right, so let's just actually, what happens when you volunteer? What happens at that point? Where are you putting yourself as a volunteer? So let's just take the many people as they get older, they have less and less social activities going on simply because they're just they're not working anymore. And, bit by bit, their circle of friends tends to become less. Just through the word attrition means, over time, things fall away. So being a volunteer when you're older, what are some of the benefits? What do you think, Karen?
Well, I know that you and I we're church going folks, and you can always go and volunteer with your church. There's always some way to volunteer. Well, there's 100 ways. I mean, there's Big Brother, Big Sister programs. There's seniors helping others in business. There's all kinds of programs to volunteer. So the benefit. Why are we here? We're here to help others. I think that's how I look at it, is that we're here to be of benefit to our fellow man. If I if I lived a life that didn't matter to anybody but me, that would be just such a terrible shame. And so the benefit, there'd be two benefits. There'd be I'm helping somebody, so they're going to get a benefit, but I'm going to get the benefit of knowing that my life mattered. Does that make sense?
Okay, so,
What I'm going to ask you the same question.
well, I love animals, and so I've been to the ASPCA in the not too distant past, and there were volunteers there helping animals, that would come in and exercising animals. These are non-paid volunteers doing something that they love and giving back to that group of people who honestly care to better the lives of animals. So ASPCA. Recently, my husband and I went on a tour of Savannah, Georgia. And so we toured a historic home, and it was staffed by volunteers that loved history and loved the history of the home and, took people through. They were the docents of that particular place where we were. So you can volunteer to help historical societies. Clearwater Marine Aquarium, which is close to where we both live, Clearwater, Florida, also has volunteers that come in. One of the things I love to do is walk on the beach in the morning. And in Clearwater, we're on the Gulf of Mexico or the United States. However, I don't know what it's being known as these days, but the Gulf of Mexico. And there are sea turtles that come in and nest annually. It's happening right now, as a matter of fact. And there are volunteers from the aquarium that come and find sea turtle nests and protect them. And they're out saying hello to everyone and, assisting that way. So what I'm saying is, in just about any interest in your life, you can find ways to volunteer while you are helping that interest. You're helping other people who have similar interests, and you'll feel good. You'll feel
Wow,
much better. And
absolutely.
you know what? If you're older and you've spent a lifetime acquiring knowledge that's just sitting there and it's a passion that you have, absolutely being a volunteer is wonderful.
It's fantastic. Um, there's a YouTube channel where a fellow, he's just remarkable. He's very knowledgeable about dogs,
Mhm.
and he goes and he sits with dogs. I think the channel might even be called Sits with Dogs. And he goes in totally as a volunteer, and the dogs are traumatized, and he helps bring them out of their trauma. He might spend a half an hour, but he might spend 2 hours sitting there, and he videotapes these. And I don't know why I can sit there and watch a whole 2 hour video of this guy bringing a dog out of its trauma, and it
Ah,
brings me so much pleasure. So not only is he helping the dog, he's helping the center. And for some, in a weird way, well, maybe I shouldn't be sitting watching 2 hours of dog sitting, but uh, it's just another sample of something. Do you have any friends who claim that they don't have any friends, or that they're lonely, or something like that? And I think the solution probably is this, and maybe we can help them find what is the right. How do you find the right thing that you want to do that helps? Well, it's got to be something that just comes out of your heart, I suppose. I don't know that donating blood and plasma are a passion of mine. I don't have a passion for plasma, but I have a passion for, if I ever need plasma, the karma, the ledger in the sky with my karma, it's going to say, "Oh, Karen donated plasma. Make sure she has some available to her." I don't know. Did that make sense?
yes. And not being a native Floridian, but being from California, there were blood drives regularly. In Florida, there are many plasma centers, and probably, and I'm thinking one of the reasons is that it is a very popular retirement destination for many people. And I suspect, I don't know this to be true, but I suspect the need for plasma here may be much stronger than in other places. But I did note that while there are blood drive buses, there's actually one company in particular that does the big red blood bust, I guess. Plasma is all around. And I do know friends who donate their time to help children study. So they're tutors. They donate their time as tutors, which I think that's amazing. That's actually a direct benefit to improving the place that you live. Educated people are people who can take action and think and don't need as much help. Uneducated, definitely they need help, and they tend to be more withdrawn from engaging in every aspect of society. So I know people who tutor as help. I know people who go out in communities and just clean things up. You know, they like to live in a more beautiful place, so they go out with a group of friends and they clean up their area, which I think is wonderful because I appreciate it too.
Yeah, we sure did see a lot of volunteerism after our devastating hurricanes of this year and the last year.
Right.
And you saw neighbors helping neighbors, and nobody asked, what church do you go to? What color's your skin? What country do you come from? What language do you speak? They just said, what do you need? And it was just unmitigated help. It was just help. And it was fantastic to watch. It made me so proud of humans, because we're told on a pretty much daily basis that we're all pretty raggedy, nasty folks anymore, and I don't believe it, not for a minute. I think that the huge majority of people are people who are ready to help their fellow man. I believe that with all my heart. Wasn't there a time when volunteerism was a concept, even within the government? I don't remember what it was. 1,000 points of light. Am I remembering that wrong? I don't know. I don't even know anything about it. But it seems to me that volunteerism would be a healthy thing for a country to emphasize.
I'm going to look up 1,000 points of life. How's that? I'm in front of a computer.
Well, I don't even know if it was called that. Maybe it was a million points.
Popularized by George H.W. Bush.
Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't mean to get political, because
Well, I don't think that's a political concept. It's dedicated to volunteer service, a society where it is easy for every person to drive change. So it became an organization. It started with George W. Bush, and you're exactly right. It's all about volunteerism. So good recall there.
We get a lot done, can't we, with volunteerism? That's for sure.
We can. So we're talking about, can volunteerism be good for your health? And definitely with studies, yes, mental health for sure gets improved. But now let's talk about physical health. So a study from Carnegie Mellon University found that adults over 50 who volunteered regularly were less likely to develop high blood pressure than non-volunteers.
Yay.
That's actually really good.
It's fantastic.
And the Mayo Clinic did a study that indicated that volunteers report better physical health and lower mortality rates than non-volunteers. So, hey, you want to live longer? You want to be happier? You want to have better health? It behooves you to volunteer.
Yeah, we're urging you. If you want to come donate plasma with me, let me know if you want to come donate plasma with me.
Right.
We'll go together. I'll introduce you to the group, to the crew.
Well, we put together a handy little guide for you called Your Path to Health Through Volunteering.
Yeah.
And so it goes over the different benefits of mental and physical health that gets improved when you volunteer. There's a little self-assessment quiz included that helps you identify areas that you might be interested in volunteering and things that are suitable for you to do it. And then ways to find places that you can volunteer, things that would interest you.
Linda, you are so efficient. I love that you put these things together. I come on here and I just start talking and thinking and talking, and we just have a conversation. And you're very organized. I love that you offer these resources to people. You're very good. You're very good.
Absolutely. We want more volunteers. And each of us does have friends. As Karen mentioned, we do have friends that for one reason or another, they feel isolated. They can't really do a lot. And so for them and for anyone, volunteering is one way to get more social, enjoy better mental health, and enjoy better physical health. So with that, you take this opportunity to download the guide we're providing for you and go out and volunteer in your community. All right, and with that, we are done for this episode. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.